So a new DMC anime or cartoon came on Netflix and it's been getting a lot of hate online. So much so that I almost didn't watch it. But now that I did, I'm kind of glad I didn't take everybody's opinion on the internet as law, because people would have you believe that this anime stole your baby and slapped your mama. Like, this anime is a bane on existence, and like, it's just the most horrible thing in the world. And I believe people at first. Look, people aren't entirely wrong in their complaints, but I feel like it's a bit overblown. Going into this show, I thought it was going to be the most mediocre, basic, forgettable Netflix slop with no redeeming qualities. Turns out, it's a mediocre anime with some redeeming qualities. Okay? There's a difference. Look, it's really not as bad as people make it out to be. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's amazing and it's like you need to watch this, but I was pleasantly surprised. So let me explain the good, the bad, and why this show is getting so much hate online. And should you watch it or not? Basically, this is my review of the Devil May Cry show. Usually I don't talk about animes on here, on this channel, but I'm SONGAMES. We talk about games here, so that's what I'm talking about. Oh, so one more thing before we get into it, just so you have context, I'm not the hugest Devil May Cry fan, and I think that affects your bias. I think the more you like Devil May Cry, the more issues you might have with this show. I watched my brothers play Devil May Cry as a kid. I was really intimidated by it. It was that damn camera angle that threw me off. I was really young. But the first one I played on my own was Devil May Cry 4. And that's why Nero was my favorite character. I just spammed the Demon Fist. And I played a bit of 5. So I like Devil May Cry. I like Dante, but I'm not the hugest fan. So just keep that in mind. Keep what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but this is how I saw the show. First of all, let's start with the bad. Lady. I would say, regardless of how much you know about the franchise, Lady in this is probably the worst thing about it. In fact, it's so bad that everything about her is just terrible. Like, she has no redeeming qualities. They completely changed her attitude from the video games to be like a badass girl boss. But the worst thing about it is she just has no redeeming qualities. She's annoying. She's constantly shitting on the main character. Nothing about her is good. It's just when she's on the screen, she annoys you. Any other character, it's so bad that any character she interacts with becomes worse. The plot becomes worse when it's about her. The characters become worse when they interact with her. She's got the Midas touch of manure. Everything about her just sucks, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This is like nothing good I can say about it. In the games, I don't know much about her because I didn't play Devil May Cry 3, but I am under the impression that she was kind of badass, but she has a soft side. She has trauma. She's not this badass that shrugs everything off. Her backstory was done decently in the show, but like, that's not how she acts. Her character was assassinated, alright? So I'll agree with everybody that Lady pretty much ruins the show, and if she wasn't in it, the show would be better for it, or if they like kept her more close to the games, it would be fine. What the writers of the show, I feel like, didn't understand is that Dante is the main character, and when you have a side character who is constantly antagonizing the main character, especially with no type of payoff in sight, you're just alienating your audience. You're pushing them away. We're here to see Dante. It's like you're antagonizing the audience when you antagonize the protagonist in this way, if that makes sense. It's not even about sexism or you can't stand about the girl boss to be the girl boss. It's just we as audience members are on Dante's side. And when this chick's constantly just booting Dante in the nuts, we feel like we're getting kicked in the nuts. So, if that makes sense. Also, Dante, I feel mixed about. For the most part, he was decent. I like the voice actor. They took Nero, my favorite character. He's the voice in this one, which is kind of different but sweet because I like that dude. Pause. I kind of felt like he was a bit underpowered, but then I consulted a real Devil May Cry fan and they told me this was loosely based on DMC 3, which is young Dante, and he's not that OP at this point in the franchise, so I guess I'll let that slide. I remember him being super badass, but that was just me. The issue though, like at most things in this series, is when he starts fighting with Lady, who is smoking him left and right and just making him look like a goofy. And it's like, I can accept that Dante's having trouble with half the demons he fights. Like, that's cool. It builds tension, makes sense, makes the show more entertaining. But like, there's no way he's like losing to a human chick with like a super suit. Like, There's just no way. There's no. I'm not buying it. But he was pretty funny. Sometimes his one-liners are hit or miss, but for the most part, I think they did a decent job with Dante. The bunny dude is fire. The bunny dude is hand down the best character in this show. He's the main villain, and he does villainy very well, I'm gonna say. Just a good villain, bro. Like, entertaining when he's on screen. I honestly couldn't take him seriously at first, you know, with him having a giant rabbit head and all, but as we got into it, he was a pretty good villain. His backstory was sympathetic and interesting. And you guys, correct me if was this guy in the game? I don't remember this guy at all. So, you know, maybe I was too young. I don't know. I don't remember this guy at all. But he's got a lot of presence on the screen, and he's just an entertaining villain, bro. Towards the end, I think they kind of simplified his character a bit. They just kind of killed it, but the journey was dope. Like, he's a good villain. That's all I'm gonna say. Best character in the show. And that's all I really have to say about the characters of the show. There are other characters, but they're not in the game and they're not necessarily worth talking about. That's not to say they're like badly written characters that suck and are horrendous. It's just kind of forgettable, kind of just mediocre, kind of just there to run the plot through. And it's not like they're badly written or anything. It's just nobody cares. I mean, the dude Dick Cheney was voice acting, the vice president. He had some aura, but other than that, I didn't really care about any of the other side characters. Another thing is I didn't really like the art style. When I talk about the art style, I'm not talking about an animation. I'm talking about how the characters look, not how the fluid motion of animation. Like, I don't like the art style. Everybody looks kind of the same. They got these big bulky faces. I've seen it in a lot of American cartoons, at least the good ones that are more like anime always seem to have this similar art style. I'm not sure if it's done by the same studio or whatever. Yeah, I just don't like how people look in this show. The actual animation is fire. There's lots of flashy animation that I was actually kind of impressed with. It's not the most amazing thing. There's clearly much better Japanese animation studios, but this was serviceable. There was some points that looked actually on par with other animes, but it's not nothing special, nothing you haven't seen before. But I was impressed with the animation in certain parts. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a part when Dante's on the highway fighting a bunch of demons from the game on a highway, and I thought they did it pretty well. I was like, oh, okay, you guys are doing some good animation here. So that's just me. I know my homie was not impressed with the animation, so maybe I just have low expectations. I thought the choice of music was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, they chose a lot of American bands that really represent the time and place where Devil May Cry was very popular, like Limp Bizkit, Evanescence, Rage Against the Machine, Green Day. Oh man, it's just nostalgic. I don't even listen to rock. I like rap and shit, but it was just like, damn, y'all taking me back. So when it comes to the plot, here's where I completely disagree with the fan base. People thought this was absolutely horrendous and horrible just because things got a little political. And obviously, if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, then yeah, you might have an issue. But if you're not, I don't think that this was that bad. Again, not 10 out of 10 amazing writing, but it was interesting enough to keep you watching. And yes, they took some creative liberties. Things that happen here did not happen in the show. But to be fair, if you're going to make a show about a video game about killing demons, you kind of don't have that much to work with. So you got to have some creative liberties. Now, they could have took the show any direction they wanted. And some people didn't like how they humanized the demons and basically made the humans look bad, specifically America. There is a whole subplot that gets a little political and almost at times feels like this show is focusing more on this political conflict than it is Dante or Devil May Cry. So that is a fair complaint, but what was done was actually decent, even if it wasn't a complete one-in-one reenactment of the game, which, like I said, I don't think the game has enough material to just base it off the game completely. I think you have to put a little extra in it, but that being said, I don't think the writing itself or the show itself was that bad. I think it was decent enough to keep you entertained. I think them humanizing demons isn't too far off from the game. I mean, the game is called Devil May Cry. So, I mean, at the end of one of the Devil May Cries, I'm not sure which, I remember him saying something like Devils Never Cry. It humanized the hell out of the demons. So I don't think that's anything wrong with them humanizing demons in this show. Maybe they did it in a way that was a little different than the game, so it felt weird. And I will admit, at one point, the bunny's backstory had me feeling like, is this even Devil May Cry? But still, it was entertaining. I can see why that throws fans off. What I cannot understand is people hating the political messaging in this show. Like, usually I'm not down for politics that are too black and white, but I didn't think the show was too black and white. Demons, some of them were bad, some of them are good. Some of the humans are good, some of the humans are bad. Humans did things in moments of weakness they shouldn't have done. Some humans sacrificed themselves to protect their homies. Like, I found there was a decent amount of nuance in the show. I thought that ending with the Green Day song was extremely ironic. I was sitting there with a grin on my face just about how on point that song was for the animation. I thought that was low-key one of the better parts of the series. Dare I say, that was a genius moment for the show. Other than that, I said it. Y'all can hate me in the comment section. I said it. That Green Day montage was fire. In the end of the day, I feel like the DMC show it's not nearly as good as something like Edge Runners, but it ain't no Cowboy Bebop adaptation. It's nothing like that. It's not amazing, but people are acting like this is the worst thing in the world. It's really not. Watch the show for yourself, and you decide if the show is good or bad or not. It's a mixed bag. There's some things you're gonna like. There's some things you're gonna hate, and it's up to you how much you like those things and hate those other things. I really didn't think it was that bad, and I'd be down for them to get a season 2. They really teased it, but if they didn't get it, I wouldn't hold my breath. That's how I feel about the show. I give it, if you wanted a score, like a light 7 to like a high 6. Like, that's how I see the show. It's not bad. That's all I really got to say. Peace.